Real talk, the metaphor messiah, man. I got this one. Let's go. You ever seen the morning star? Mr. Metaphor Messiah, back to show you who we are. I represent a legacy, a pothead like the 70s, a different kind of mind. They say we only speak in melodies. Legend in the game, I think I found a solution. Got a crazy kind of flow, I need a verbal institution.
What's going on, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy, Dead on Dave. And new NXT champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. That's right, kids. You're here live for your NXT Osaka results and spoilers. Earmuffs. You don't want to know? I'm going to tell you anyway. I don't care. Click off. Go away. I don't give a shit. Shinsuke Nakamura is your new NXT champion after beating Samoa Joe live in Osaka just moments ago. We're here live to cover the entire thing because you know me. Not only am I excited, not only am I just friggin' enthralled that my man, the best sports entertainer in the world today, Shinsuke Nakamura, strong style baby, is now once again the NXT champion, but I called it. I think I had this, and I know some people are like, why even give Samoa Joe the title for a week? What's the point? Because for one, it gave an incredible moment, and really it gave two. It gave an incredible moment at the last NXT takeover where nobody saw it coming, nobody expected Joe to win, and then they give Shinsuke Nakamura a huge rub in his homeland, back in Japan, in Osaka, man. They give him the opportunity to go back to his home and entertain his people, man, and do it in the grandest possible way. Beating Samoa Joe, who has a little bit of a presence as well over there, beating Samoa Joe to win back his NXT championship, becoming only the second man in NXT history to become a two-time champion. The other guy being Samoa Joe, who just took it off of him. Some people are going to be upset at the fact that this happened. It makes all the sense in the world. Look, like I said, you give those two great moments and you set up the future. Joe doesn't need to be on NXT anymore. This kind of ends that. There's no point for it to continue to go on. He can now come up to the main roster, but before he did, he got a huge epic moment, and he was able to give one in kind as well to Shinsuke Nakamura. It doesn't just make a little bit of sense. It makes all the sense. It makes all of the sense. All of the sense that you can come up with, that's how much sense it makes right now. If you're just joining us live right here for these NXT Osaka spoilers, and new NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura. That's right. Shinsuke Nakamura wins back his NXT championship. And you know that I am just, I'm tingly. That's what I'm talking about. Now look, it's unfortunate that Shinsuke and this entire event wasn't on NXT television, which is the network. It's unfortunate, man. It really is. I feel like that should have been on. That event should have been on. Now, I'm sure they will show this match, as they well friggin' should. But how cool would it have been if WWE.com would have like just blew up and said, we're taking you live to NXT Osaka so you could witness the conclusion or the entire match of Shinsuke Nakamura and Samoa Joe? What if they just would have interrupted everything to do that? It would have went live on all of the damn dirt sheets. Yeah, I know it's early in the morning, but still, it would have been something that people would have talked about. People would have been like, look at the network. Look what the network's capable of. They'll go live. They'll just go crazy. They'll go live and start broadcasting about whatever's happening. It's real. They're bringing us in. That's exciting. And I feel that is a little bit of a missed opportunity, but still, very, very cool stuff for this to happen. By the way, I want to give a big shout out to Chris Cressa, who tipped me off on this. I didn't know that, I knew that the event was happening, but I couldn't find any information on it, so I had no idea that Shinsuke actually had already won the title back. Chris Cressa is the one who tipped me off. So if you're happy that I'm live right now talking these NXT Osaka spoilers, thank Chris Cressa, my German brethren. Thank him. He's the guy who made this happen, and I really do appreciate the tip. And this is the thing. If you guys know stuff, you guys find stuff out, you go ahead and hit me up on Twitter at ThatOnDaveV. Contact me in my Discord. Links in the description box. You can get a hold of me. Let me know what's going on, and I can get you content that you want to see. I can be Johnny on the spot because Lord knows I have no life. Now, we're going to get back to Shinsuke Nakamura regaining his NXT championship in just a few moments. But I want to get to the rest of the card. And then we're going to talk some spoilers from the last NXT tapings and why this is even a bigger moment than you guys might realize because of what it sets up at NXT, the Royal Rumble show. It's even bigger. NXT San Antonio sets up a huge match. If you thought Samoa Joe and Shinsuke was a cool match just because of, physicality, the next number one contender is even more exciting for a completely different reason, and we'll get into that in just a moment. All right. The rest of the card. NXT Live, man, put up a huge event in Osaka. They killed it. Osaka got a show tonight. Oni Lorcan defeated Andrade Cien Almas. That's right. And apparently, because La Sombra does have a huge connection to New Japan Pro Wrestling and the entire Japanese wrestling circuit, Andrade apparently came out in his mask for this one. He came back out as La Sombra. Holy cool. Man, not holy Christ, holy cow, holy cool, because that is just unbelievably cool. I like what's going on with Andrade, but it's not a surprise. It's a homecoming. He's going to lose. It just kind of happens sometimes, especially when you're a heel. Oni Lorcan, Andrade, I want to watch that match. I want to see that match. The women got back into it as well. They got themselves a couple of matches on this show. One of them being Billie Kay and Peyton Royce defeating Liv Morgan and Aaliyah. After Liv Morgan and Aaliyah needed the help of Ember Moon to kind of dispatch Billie Kay and Peyton Royce earlier this week on NXT television, Billie Kay and Peyton Royce are coming back to dominance, to prominence, to really start showing that they do run that women's division. So they get a victory in Osaka over Liv Morgan and Aaliyah. Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli, you're going to hear more about these guys as a tag team. They're becoming, you're seeing them more and more together. They're becoming a pretty damn good unit, a very interesting tag team, I would say. They got beat by The Revival. That's right, The Revival toured with NXT, so we don't know exactly what's going to be happening with them. There is speculation that they're going to be coming up to the main roster, but there's a lot of reason to keep them down there for some potential matchups. But with the direction with DIY and the Authors of Pain and TM61, maybe it's time that The Revival came up, and that's what a lot of people are talking about. But it's cool that they got a little bit of a swan song in Osaka. This is a big tour. NXT going to Osaka, going to Japan, they don't do it all the time. So to see that happen is pretty damn cool. And to kind of give the guys, the people who've been kind of carrying NXT over the past year or so, a little bit of a chance to go on a victory celebration, a victory lap, a victory tour, if you will, is pretty damn cool. Ty Dillinger gets a victory. Holy shit, is the tide turning for Ty Dillinger? I'm not sure. I believe so, though. He gets a victory at Osaka over Elias Sampson and Bobby Roode in a triple threat. Now, keep in mind, he pinned Sampson, not Roode, but still, Ty Dillinger getting victories. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, man, I can't believe it. I can't believe this is happening. It's a beautiful day. It's unbelievable that this is finally going on. Jesus Christ, man. We got a huge intermission with William Regal coming out with Hideo Itami. Hideo Itami speaks to the crowd. I'm sure gets a great pop, a great reaction. So that was a really cool thing as well. Osaka got Asuka. That's right. Asuka had another outside of NXT competitor have to be shipped in because there's simply nobody in the division aside from Ember Moon. And this time it was Nia Jax. Nia Jax coming back from the main roster to NXT to lose to Asuka in Osaka. Of course that happens. Asuka beating Nia Jax. And what I'm reading was a pretty damn good match. So that's pretty cool as well. By the way, I'm getting all of these spoilers and results from Abby Arthur of RTP Wrestling. RTP Wrestling. It's a spoiler dirt sheet site, and that's where I'm getting all this information from. So that's pretty damn cool that Asuka gets a victory over Nia Jax there. DIY also in the show, taking on two Japanese favorites. That's right. Tozawa and Tajiri team together to take on DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. And of course, DIY retain their tag team titles over Tozawa and Tajiri. What a cool tag team. Tozawa and Tajiri, the Buzzsaw and the Screamer. Kind of cool stuff, man. I think that's a pretty neat little thing to do. Once again, bringing back Tajiri is never a bad thing. The guy does give a whole hell of a lot of experience and knowledge, and he's just a good guy, too. I'm glad that he did get another chance. Now, all of those matches are great, and that's fantastic, but of course, the big one, Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Samoa Joe to regain his NXT Championship. That's right, Shinsuke Nakamura is our NXT champion yet again. For everybody who was crying over the fact that maybe Shinsuke shouldn't have lost. Yes, I was in shock too, but I saw the possible booking options. As soon as I knew that Osaka was this close, it made all the sense in the world to go ahead and put the belt back on him. For all the reasons that I discussed earlier, it gave you a very shocking moment at NXT TakeOver Toronto. Nobody saw it coming. Samoa Joe getting the victory. You had Shinsuke being able to go back to Japan and get his title back in front of his crowd, his people. What a great moment that is. And now it sets up the future. Not only Samoa Joe being able to go to the main roster, whether it be SmackDown or Raw, maybe Undertaker is going to be getting himself some of John Cena after all. That would leave AJ in need of a fight. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. Oh my, Jesus Christ, make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. Make sure you guys hit that like button too. If you've yet to do it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, the whole shebang bang. You guys know what to do. We're going to take your guys' calls in just a few minutes as well. All right, so stay tuned for that. But not only does that really help Samoa Joe get freed up, but it also sets up some huge news for the NXT TakeOver in San Antonio. The night before Royal Rumble, Shinsuke Nakamura, back as champion, will be defending against the new number one contender. Once again, spoilers, kids. Spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's on you now. It's in God's hands. If you didn't put your damn chubby little mittens over your ears, I can do nothing about it. I gave you a fair warning, and I'm even extending that to give you more warning. Yes, the new number one contender for NXT title is glorious. That's right. Bobby Roode is your number one contender. He won in a series of matches that will be played out over the next few weeks on NXT. Amazing. That means we are going to get Shinsuke Nakamura and the glorious one, Bobby Roode, in a battle of the entrances at NXT TakeOver San Antonio. That's right, man. We're used to Shinsuke now coming to these epic openings, but Samoa Joe was on the other side of it. He was on the other side of it, and Samoa Joe just walked out and said, hey, we're going to fight, and that was it. But man, the story that Bobby Roode, the 40-year-old, the big veteran, the guy who knows every inch of the squared circle in any part of the world on any given night, a guy who can work heel, face, get over as either, especially here in NXT so far, and a guy who is going to really, really, really complement the style of Shinsuke Nakamura. This is a fantastic matchup. It really is. Not only in the ring, but on the entrances. These two's entrances are going to be something completely insane. I think the first time that we saw it, NXT TakeOver, both Bobby Roode and Shinsuke Nakamura had entrances that left everybody's jaw dropped. For some people, both entrances at the next takeover, the most recent one, just 10 days ago or whatever it was, kind of left something to be desired. A lot of people were complaining that the violins for Shinsuke and the choir for Bobby Roode were piping it in, or they were lip syncing, which I'm not sure is 100% true, but still, it did not look as clean as some of the other stuff. Now, just imagine what these guys are going to do for San Antonio against each other. It's going to be amazing. Not only are these two of the most over people in all of wrestling at the moment, but they by far have the two best theme songs in all of wrestling at the moment. There's no better theme song than Shinsuke Nakamura's Rising Sun and Glorious Bobby Roode. It just doesn't get better. It's got everything that you want. It's got everything that you need, and as does this matchup. Super excited about it, man. I really can't wait to see that. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think that I'm not saying that Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura were not a seller's dream match. I'm not saying that match doesn't put butts in the seats. But I think because of the high-profile nature that Bobby Roode has had since joining NXT, coupled with Shinsuke Nakamura and his rise, and now this victory over Samoa Joe, I would think thwarting him completely and finishing the rivalry, I think you got to look at this as potentially one of the biggest main events in NXT history. And it's a match that is really going to highlight that weekend. It's got all the sizzle that you could possibly want. Now, hopefully NXT will continue to do what NXT does and surround it with amazing matches top to bottom. I mean, potentially you're looking at Asuka and Ember Moon, if not another Hall of Famer type women's wrestler. Who knows? They could bring in somebody else to fill that role if they don't think that Ember Moon is ready yet, or if Asuka isn't enough of a heel yet. So they can fill that role very, very easily. Maybe even bring back Mickie James again. I'd be down for that. In the tag team division, you're going to have DIY against, it depends on the reports that you're talking about here, because things can be changed. It looks like the Authors of Pain, but TM61 has been advertised for this match in certain places. So it's very possible that it will be TM61, or maybe even a triple threat between these three tag teams, which I would be down for. Pretty damn cool stuff. Probably that's the way that you neutralize the Authors of Pain. Authors of Pain and DIY, it almost feels like it's going to be a squash. Authors of Pain are just that dominant, that big, and as great as Gargano and Ciampa is, I don't know. It's an interesting one, man. It really is. So you got that potential matchup. You got all kinds of other feuds that are building throughout the card. Andrade is skyrocketing. I know he lost tonight in NXT Osaka, but he's skyrocketing. What he's doing as a heel is fucking magnifique. You got Sanity running wild, a potential new member of Sanity, which you're going to be seeing in the next few weeks on NXT television. That whole feud with No Way Jose and that whole situation. Very, very cool stuff all throughout NXT right now. So that whole card shaping up to be very, very good. But of course, highlighted by the new NXT champion, Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah, man, strong style combat, baby. Strong style combat. That's what I'm friggin' talking about. I am so excited about this. And of course, Bobby Roode, those two together, gonna be amazing. Can't wait for it. Trixton, which Nakamura Joe match did you like more, by the way? The second one, actually. I like the one that we just saw at Toronto. I thought it was a better match as far as quality goes, but the ending was so shocking that, man, how can you not like it? The first one had an epic ending, too, with Joe getting his jaw smashed, but still, I'm going to go with the second one, but just by a smidgen. Just by a little bit. Big shout out to everybody who's here. Klauf, Trixton, Mr. Blackie, Josh Lines, Chris Cressa, who gave me the tip-off for this story. Thank you, Chris. Kyle Lorch, Swedish Wrestling News is here. Carl Gibney, Soda I Firsty is here. Mad Money Mo. They're all here, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I do. We're just going to be a few minutes more. We're going to go through the results one more time, and we're going to take your guys' calls. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines now. On Skype, at David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA, or, of course, use the number 702-751-2902. Now, with Christmas upon us, you can also go ahead and do some other things, like visit the Dead on Dave merchandise store. You see down there beneath the ticker, www.deadondave.spreadshirt.com. Go check that out, man. We got all kinds of great shirts there. We got the Copia shirt, and mugs, and hats, and all kinds of stuff. Make sure you go check it out, man. Support the channel. But if you want to support the channel in other ways, you can go right in the description box, become a patron. On Patreon, you can go over there and donate to support the channel long term, or you can just go right into the other description the other donation tab in the description box as well, and just donate to the channel. It helps pay the bills, and the fat man eats a lot, so pay the bills. All right, I do appreciate everybody supporting. We are here live, in case you were just joining us, to talk about the full results and spoilers of NXT Osaka, which just concluded about an hour ago, and we have a brand new NXT champion, Shinsuke Nakamura, two-time champion, becoming the second guy to do it, of course, behind Samoa Joe, who just did it 10 days ago. What are your guys' thoughts on it? What are your guys' feelings? Do you think it was a good move? Do you think it was a smart move? Do you think it was a waste for Joe to win it 10 days ago? Some people feel that way. I think that's a little bit short-sighted because of what it gave us. It gave us huge, and it opens up big things in the future, not only for Samoa Joe going to the main roster, hope, but Shinsuke Nakamura, and spoilers again, Bobby Roode, who is the new #1 contender for the NXT title. And of course, that will take place at NXT Takeover San Antonio. If you want to talk about it, you want to get your voice heard, you want to talk about this amazing news, Shinsuke Nakamura becoming your two-time NXT champion, call in right now on Skype. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. And of course, the number 702-751-2902. That's right. Can't wait to hear from you guys. Also, sound off on social media at DeadOnDaveV on Twitter. Go ahead and hashtag NXT Osaka and tell the world what you're thinking. I'd love to hear from you guys. Also, go into my Discord. My Discord's crack-a-lackin' and pop-a-lockin'. Go up in there and talk to the people about the wrestling news that's going on right now. But at the very least, make sure you hit that like button if you've yet to do so. Also, subscribe to the channel. We're just a couple subs away from 3,900 subscribers right here on YouTube. All right, let's go through the results one more time, and then we will get the hell up out of here. Trixton says, who honestly thought Nakamura wasn't going to win in Japan? There's no way he was going to lose there. That's one way of looking at it, but they make everybody lose in their hometowns. So, Kyle Lorch, Dave, here's the thing. Will Joe go to Raw or join SmackDown because of SmackDown lack of talent? SmackDown's the place to go because I think Shinsuke Nakamura will eventually go to Raw. So you give Joe to SmackDown. AJ Styles. Need I say more? AJ effing Styles, folks. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe. Let's see it in the WWE ring. Why the hell not? Let's make it happen. So, of course, my answer is SmackDown. Let's go through the live results one more time in case people are just joining in and didn't hear. Oni Lorcan defeated Andrade Cien Almas, who came out in his Los Sombra mask. That's right. Came out in his Los Sombra mask. He used it quite frequently. He was Los Sombra in Japan, so that was a really cool nod and a thing to do. Oni Lorcan getting the victory there. Billy Kay, Peyton Royce defeating Liv Morgan and Aaliyah. The Revival defeating the team of Riddick Moss and Tino Sabatelli. All the muscles gets beaten up by the best technical tag team on the planet right now, if you ask me, the Revival. Ty Dillinger defeats Elias Sampson and Bobby Roode in a triple threat match. He pins Sampson, not Roode, but Ty Dillinger gets a victory. It's so beautiful. I can't believe it happened. Holy shit. It's amazing. William Regal and Hideo Itami come out to speak to the crowd. That's a huge thing. Very cool moments as we got to see Asuka defeating Nia Jax to retain her NXT Women's title. DIY defeating the team of Tozawa and Tajiri. Whoa, Japanese orgasming all over the place. Tozawa and Tajiri beaten by DIY for Gargano and Ciampa to retain their NXT tag titles. And of course, the big news, Shinsuke Nakamura regaining his NXT championship. Good God. How great. How great. Trixton, by the way, Nakamura and La Sombra is a good match. I recommend looking it up. Agreed, son. Agreed. I wonder partly if Nakamura is being kept in WWE long enough so they could do, which I'm sure they would have done at this Japan show, by the way. If they want to do Hideo Itami and Shinsuke Nakamura, I think they want to do that match like something fucking fierce. Whew. I'm sure they want to do that something huge. They would love to do it for WrestleMania. If I had to guess, the WrestleMania weekend, Shinsuke Nakamura's potential last match in NXT against Hideo Itami. That would be pretty epic since they're doing Bobby Roode at Royal Rumble. Leaves a spot. Hideo Itami could certainly fill that if, of course, Shinsuke does retain over Bobby Roode, which I think most people would assume he would, but you just never know. Bobby Roode doesn't need that title, and he certainly doesn't need to stay on NXT, but at the same time, yeah, you kind of want to stick with it as well. So lots of great stuff. All kinds of really cool pictures being shown on the Twitters, man. I highly recommend you guys go checking out hashtag NXT Osaka to see all the pictures. There's some videos that are being distributed for the matches. Pretty cool stuff. I highly recommend you guys go and checking it out. I got all of my reviews, my results and spoilers rather, from RTP Wrestling online. Go check them out. TopRopePress.com. TopRopePress.com. TopRopePress.com, written by Abby Arthur, this article with the full results and spoilers. All right. I think that's about going to wrap this thing up. Last chance, if you want to call in, go ahead and call in on Skype. David Vancura, DAVIDVANCURA. Of course, use the number 702-751-2902. Now's your chance. Chris Cresta, did you hear that some people at Full Sail chanted at CN Almas, "This is why we need a wall at NXT tapings"? Yeah, I did hear about that. And as Trixton said, that just means he's doing a good job as a heel. Agreed. Or people are just racist pricks. That's possible too, but it is a funny chant, I got to admit. Doesn't look like we're going to get any calls, but that's okay. I knew that was a risk going on this early in the States. It is 2 o'clock in the afternoon here in Germany, but I know most people are still in Betty Bye land over there in the United States of America, and that's completely okay. Hopefully you guys will watch this when you get up and get your full NXT Osaka live results and spoilers from the copious Fat Man. And if you are, go ahead, slap a like on this thing. Subscribe to the channel. I've about said all that I could say. I've gone through the results, so there's no reason to gild this lily out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I know that I don't do a lot of spoilers and stuff very often on this channel. I don't really believe in talking about them. I read every spoiler, but I don't like talking about them. I don't like giving away stuff because the payoff is what wrestling is all about, and I do feel that this sometimes can cheapen it. However, in this case, this is something that clearly should have been on the network. Big missed opportunity by WWE here, I believe. And, you know, somebody's got to talk about it. Somebody's got to bring this out there. So that means it's the Fat Man's job. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had an absolute blast. Follow me on Twitter, @DeadOnDaveV. Make sure you check out last night's Nerd and the Jerk, too, man. We had a great time, myself and the legendary comic, Jake Link. Make sure you check that out. It was a great show. We had some good callers. We had a lot of fun. Lots of great stuff. Make sure that you're keeping your nose to the grindstone on all of the wrestling news that's going on. in the world right now, especially with the NXT situation. Make sure you check out what's going on. One more time. Shinsuke Nakamura is your NXT champion yet again. And the copious fat man couldn't be any happier. I hope you guys are happy. Hope you think it's the right move. One poll before we get out of here. Here's what I want the chat to do. If you're available, if you have something that you can press on, if you're not too drunk and you can actually see your keyboard, here's what I want you to do. If you think Shinsuke Nakamura beating Samoa Joe just 10 days after losing the NXT title to him, do you think that this was a good move to do this in Osaka like this? 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Make sure you guys hit that up. I want to get your reaction for it right now. Right now. Neslo says, oh no, I'm late. And Carl Gibney, the nerd and the jerk, was amazing. I think it was one of our best episodes. I think it was a really, really good episode. Like, fantastic episode. Like, top-notch episode, mate. I'm really, really happy with it. I thought it was a lot of fun. So let's see if we're getting some people getting up in here and talking about it. Oh, true. We got ones out of Trixton and Mohammed. So that's good. People are seeing the good potential and build going in to the future, seeing what's going to happen with Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode. Ness Low with a 2. That means he doesn't think it was a good idea. I'd love to hear why. You should call in and let me know why you think it was a bad idea. The Daniel WMS, he says, yes, good move. Obsolete, yes, good move. Carl Gibney, yes, good move. Chris Cressa, yes, good move. Trixton just gives Joe a reason to move to the main roster sooner. Absolutely. Let's get Joe on the main effing roster. No reason to keep him down there anymore. Let's see what he's going to do. I think it's a good move. I think it's a great move. And it gives us Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, NXT San Antonio. Come on, folks. Obsolete 1. So that's a big yes. Okay. Thank you guys very much for joining me right here on Dead on Day Productions. I hope you had a fun time with this episode. I had a good time bringing it to you. And we'll see you next time right here. A little bit later on tonight, we will be doing live predictions for WWE TLC 2016. We're going to be doing it right here live on Dead on Day Productions, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you guys are here for that. Don't friggin' miss it, all right? Slap a like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you have yet to do so. Share this around in your wrestling communities. Let everybody know that the best guy in wrestling right now on commentary, the most fair, the best shit you're gonna get is from the copious fat man, and you can find him right here on Dead on Dave Productions. Thank you guys very much. We will see you next time. Keep it copious, folks, and as always, if you don't have talent, have talented friends. We'll see you next time, and peace.